Okay, so you can see me. We're going to start standing on our mat and standing like a mountain. So if you just put your feet hips distance apart, the outside edges of the feet parallel. Okay, and we're just going to lean forwards on our feet and backwards, see where the weight goes. And to the sides. And notice where the weight goes in your feet. And when we're standing tall, we just want the weight to be evenly distributed in our feet, so our toes are loose. You could wiggle them. And then imagine the weight going down through the heel of the foot, the outside edge and the ball of the foot. And then we're just going to tilt our pelvis backwards and forwards, try and find a central neutral position. Zip up that belly, tuck it in a little bit, and let the spine lengthen. Imagine an invisible string just gently being pulled from the crown of your head up tall. And then as we breathe in, we can bring our shoulders up. And breathe out, slide the shoulder blades back and down the spine. And then we're just going to engage our arms, strong arms, fingers together, lengthening down towards the ground. And bring our hands together, and we're just going to take 5 rounds of breath in and out. You can take the breath in your own time, just to arrive here for the yoga class. You can close your eyes if you want to. Just have a quick check to see if anyone else. And then we're just going to loosen up our body, mobilize our spine by gently twisting side to side. And as we twist, we're going to lift the back heel off the ground so that, let me see if there's a message. Gently twisting side to side. Okay, now pin, let me pause, I'll pause. So we're just gonna gently twist from side to side. And as we twist, we're gonna lift the back heel off the ground, the toes can stay on the ground. And we can imagine that we're like a palm tree. So our arms can go up too, like the leaves of the palm tree, just gently swaying in the wind. And we're going to go slowly with our breath. So we're going to inhale one way, exhale the other way. So just make sure you're lifting that heel so your knee can turn, your body can turn around. Inhale one way, exhale the other way. Just go 5 more times with your own breath, in and out. Your arms might be able to come up and over. Stretch the upper back a bit more. And we're going to keep that motion going side to side. And we're just going to change our arms. So the front arm's going to come to the shoulder and the back arm is going around the lower back. I don't know if you can see me. So as we turn, one arm comes to the shoulder, opposite shoulder, one arm's going to the lower back. And then we're going to let our arms drop to the sides, and we're just going to swing them, let them loosely just spin around the body. We can bring the heels down and just slow down the movement till we come to standing. We can stand back like a mountain. So weight pushing into the ground through the feet. Legs strong, lift those kneecaps, spine tall, shoulders back and down. Hands pushing down towards the ground. And then just relax. We're going to come to a warrior pose, warrior one. So we need to have our feet wide. The front foot is going to turn, so it's pointing straight ahead. And we're going to turn our hips towards the front foot. So we'll need to lift our heel with the back foot and just turn our foot so it's roughly 45 degrees, whichever way it feels comfortable for you, where you can turn the hips so they're pointing forward. So if you imagine there's two headlights on your hips, you want them to be pointing straight forward over that front leg. And then we're going to bend the front knee. So you might need to shuffle. So you want your knee to be over the ankle. So you might need to widen your stance and then think about your head lifting up, spine lifting up as much as possible. And our hips turning to the front. And while we're here, just notice your hips. Are they even? Because what can happen is one hip is trying to go higher than the other, but we want them to be even. Okay. And see if you could just drop your hips lower to the ground. And we're going to raise our hands above our head as we breathe in. Palms together if it's comfortable, or you can have your hands apart. Keeping the back heel down so that leg's strong. And then as we breathe out, we're going to bring the hands down slowly. And as we breathe in, we're going to bring the hands back up. We're going to straighten the front leg. Look up gently towards the hands. And as we breathe out, we're going to bend the knee, go back down, hands down. Just carry on with this in your own time. So as we breathe in, arms coming up, palms together, look up. And as we breathe out, arms coming down to the sides, knee bending, look forwards. Come back to the middle, turn those feet, and we're going to turn the opposite way. So the front foot is pointing straight ahead. The back foot is going to lift and just pivot a little bit, so it's roughly 45 degrees that way. And we're going to turn the hips, so if we had some headlights on it, it's going to turn so they're facing in the same direction as our foot. So we've got a mat going straight ahead on the mat. And then we are going to bend that front knee, come down. If you need to wiggle your feet, let's see my back foot needs to move a bit with that. And in this position, we're focusing on our heel, pushing down into the ground. That's going to keep our back leg straight and strong. Our hips coming to the front, but also between left and right, trying to balance them. So one's not higher than the other. Our upper body returning, so it's facing the front with our hips. And our spine is lengthening. Crown of the head lifting up. See if you can drop the hips down to the ground a little bit more. You can pull in that belly gently towards the spine. That's also going to help us have a good posture. And then as we breathe in, bring the hands up. Look up. And as we breathe out, bring the hands down. And as we breathe in, we're going to straighten that front knee, lift up the hand. And bend the knee, bring the arms down as we breathe out. And just keep going in your own time. Bring your feet back facing the front. I'm going to turn back the opposite direction, the front foot facing straight ahead again. Our back foot is going to stay so that the outer edge of the foot is in line with the end of the mat. Okay, it's not twisting this time because we're going to keep our hips facing forwards. So those hip headlights facing forwards. And we're still going to bend the knee, so if we breathe in, and then on an out breath, we can gently bend the front knee. Same as before, the knee still needs to be above the ankle or behind. Shuffle your feet if you need to. So notice your hips, what position are they in? Mine, until I focused on them, were just tilting like that. So focus on balancing the hips. Back leg strong and straight. Belly tucked in, spine lifting tall. Shoulders down the spine and away from the ears. And we're going to lift up our arms on an in-breath. And we're just going to face the front hand. Gaze gently at the front fingers. And if you imagine this, some gentle pulling on your back arm and your front arm, so this can help your body stay in the middle above your hip. And you're trying to drop your hips lower if you can. What we want to imagine is that our hips can drop and then our thighs are going to come down so it's at a right angle. And we're going to do similar to what we did with Warrior One, is that we're going to breathe in and raise the arms. Look up, straighten the leg. Then we're going to bend the knee again on an out breath, lower the arms, look to the front. You can keep going in time with your own slow breath. Breathe out, arms down, knee bent. Breathe in, arms up, straight leg. And then bring the feet back to the front when you're ready. We're going to go the opposite way. Front foot facing forward, back leg. So the foot, front foot facing forward, back foot is in line, the outer edge is in line with the back of the mat. Our hips, we're going to keep or twist them so they're facing forward this way. And we are going to bend the knee. So if we breathe in, Breathe out, bend that front knee. The knee might want to come in, like mine wants to come forwards that way. So focus on keeping the knee back and over the heel. Notice those hips. Are they balanced? Move them so they're more balanced if you can. Back foot pushing into the ground, legs strong and straight. And as you breathe out, see if you can drop those hips any closer to the ground. And we're going to raise up our arms on an in-breath. And we're going to look to the front over our front hands, just gently gazing towards our fingers. And the arms, the aim is that the arms are going to feel light and lifted. And the front arm stretching forwards, the back arm stretching back so we can keep our body centered. Our upper body is facing the same way as our hips, even though we gaze into the front. And then we're going to breathe in, raise the arms, straighten the leg, look up. Breathe out, lower the arms, bend the knee, look forward and keep going. We're going to bring our feet facing the front. You can, if you want a short break, you can bring them together, just relax. Shake them out, or you can keep them like this. We're going to do the triangle pose. So our feet are going to be in the same time as that last pose, warrior two. Front foot facing forward. Legs stay straight this time. Back foot, the outer edge of the foot in line with the back of the mat. Our hips are facing forwards. Standing tall. Crown of the head lifting up, belly lifting, kneecaps lifting to help us engage and strengthen our legs. And on an in-breath, we're going to bring up our arms. And then on an out-breath, we're going to lean forwards as if we're just hinging here at our waist. And we're going to keep going, keeping those legs as straight as possible. And bring the front arm down, either to the floor, so the fingers are touching the floor if your leg's straight, and you can reach, or to rest on your leg. And the arm, the aim of the upper arm, is to bring it straight to the sky, so you're looking up at your fingers and it's making a straight line. I've actually got a tight shoulder on that side, but even if your arm can only come to here, it's okay. We're just aiming eventually for it to be up in a straight line. Our upper body is twisting, so this top shoulder pulling back. So if we imagine there were two, let's say there's like a curtain here in front of me and one behind, my body would fit to not touch the curtains. So you can bring your hand down if having it up is too much. Looking up if you can balance okay. And then on an in-breath, we're going to slowly come up to the middle. We're going to turn our feet the opposite way. And we're going to do the triangle on this side. So we breathe in. And on an out breath, just reach and hinge forwards and then drop that front arm down, either to the ground, toes touching the ground, or just resting on the leg wherever you can reach. Top arm lifting up towards the ceiling. Gaze up if you can balance. The upper body twisting, shoulder pulling back so we can get a straight line between our hands. And on an in-breath, we're going to come up. Our feet, we're going to turn them back to the front. I'm going to bring our feet back together in the center. Shake our legs a bit. Shake the body out a bit if we need to. And we're going to do tree pose. So we need to ground our feet just like when we're standing like a mountain. Weight evenly distributed in the feet. Decide which foot is going to be your foundation, your grounded foot, and which one we're going to lift up first. You put your hands on your hips, that can help balance sometimes to start with. So the first position for tree pose is just to lift your heel, turn your leg and your foot, so your knees pointing to the side, and then bring your heel so it's resting on top of your ankle. And in all of the positions, we just need to focus on the leg. It's probably going to try and come forward. Okay, so if that's the case, focus on bringing the knee back so it's directly out to the side. The next position is to bring your foot against your calf. And if our foot's against our calf, we need to imagine that the calf and the foot are pushing together. That's going to have you stand tall and balanced. And then the next position is to bring the foot to the inner thigh. And in the same way, imagine the foot pushing against the inner thigh. So if your foot's on your calf or your inner thigh, just make sure it's not on the knee, so either above or below the knee. And then we're going to choose our hand position. Okay, I'll just say to help balance, it's good to choose a point in the distance that you can focus on. Maybe something on the floor or the wall. Standing tall, spine lifting up, crown of the head lifting up. We can put our hands in front together like this. We can raise our hands above our head, palms together. We can open up our arms, and then you can close your eyes, which makes it more challenging to balance. Okay, you can also keep your hands on your hips if you want to. So let's stay here. If you come out of the balance, just go back into it. Let's stay here for 10 breaths. In and out, 10 breaths in your own time. Remember that knee should be pointing to the side. You've done your 10 breaths. You can come down, shake the leg. We're going to do the other side. So choose your position. You might be able to take the foot to a different place on your leg on the other side. And let's do 15 breaths on this side because I was talking a lot before we did the 10 breaths. So choose your position, knees going out to the side. Choose your hand position. Focus on a point in the distance with your gaze. Tuck in that belly, going to help us stand tall and keep our balance. 15 breaths. When you're ready, bring your foot down. And we're just going to breathe. So as we breathe in, raise our arms up. And as we breathe out, dive forward. Let the arms drop down in front of you. Knees can be soft, bent. Breathe in. Just lift up to your back and tabletop. And breathe out, let the arms hang down. And let's just swing gently the arms from side to side. Notice your neck, if it's holding on or tense at all, just let it loosen so you can shake your head about. And then you're going to breathe in, come all the way up, and then the arms drop down as we breathe out. We're actually going to come down onto the ground, okay? And stretch our legs out in front of us. Let's see. And we're going to forward bend in this seated position. So what can happen, not all teachers say it, but I find it useful, is if you're finding it uncomfortable to sit like that, if you pull your bum a little bit, the fleshy bit out, can make it more comfortable. So you're actually sitting on your sit bones. Your toes might be able to touch together, if so. Bring your toes, your ankles, your knees together. Or they might not. For me, that's not very comfortable. I have mine apart. And as we breathe in, we're going to raise our arms above our head. And as we breathe out, we're going to just lean forward gently, drop the arms. So just go as far as you can go. Maybe your head can come down here to your legs, or maybe it's higher up. And as we breathe in, raise the arms. And as we breathe out, I'm going to reach forward, fold forward. And then as we breathe in, raise the arms, breathe out, forward, fold. Breathe in, look up, and then fold forward as you breathe out. Relax the arms. Breathe in, look up gently, fold forward. And as we breathe in, raise up, breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, raise up, fold forward. As far as you can, just rest your hand on your legs or your feet. Breathe in, breathe out, forwards. Breathe in. Notice if you can reach any further down your legs or past your feet than you could at the start. Breathe in and breathe out. Reach forwards as we fold. Breathe in. Breathe out, and this time just rest your hands wherever they come to. Okay. If your hands reach your feet, you can just put them round, or you can hold your toes. And if they don't reach your feet, you can just hold your legs wherever they do reach. And we're going to continue just breathing here. So as we breathe in, imagine the crown of the head lifting. And as you breathe out, see, can you fold any more forwards towards your legs? Or if your head's at your leg, can you stretch any further forwards? So as we breathe in, spine, crown of the head lifting. And as we breathe out, gently relax forwards. Can you go any further? Breathe in. And as you breathe out, you can pull just gently down your feet or your legs to help you bend further. Breathe in. Breathe out. And let's just rest here for a few breaths. And then raise your body up to sitting. We're going to bring bend one knee, bring the foot to the ground next to our leg, and then just let the knee drop out to the side. Okay, the knee might come to the floor, but if it doesn't, it's okay. I'm going to continue to bend forwards. So for me, when I put my knee like that, my hips have turned, and what you need to do is bring our hips back. They're still facing forwards as much as possible in the same way as when we were just doing those seated forward bends with both legs out. I'm actually, if your knee doesn't come to the ground and you've got something handy, you can put underneath. You can just put a blanket, or if you've got a cushion or anything like that, a jumper folded up would be more comfortable because it's bringing the ground closer to your knee, your leg. So as we breathe in, we're going to raise our arms up. And as we breathe out, we're going to reach forwards. Notice how far you can reach. And as we breathe in, reach up. And as we breathe out, just fold forwards, reaching for your foot. You can go a few more times in our own time. So breathe in, reach up, breathe out, fold forwards. Hands on the foot or leg. Breathe in. Breathe out. So our body is coming down over our leg. And then we're going to put our hands on our leg or on our foot, okay, if it's comfortable to reach the foot. And we're going to stay here. And just like last time, we're going to breathe in. Lengthen the crown, the spine, and breathe out, fold forward. So wherever you're holding, whether that's your leg or it's your foot, we can pull. We're not pulling ourselves hard, but you can just gently pull through. It helps you go deeper into the stretch, the fold, okay? So staying down here, but as we breathe in, crown of the head lifts, body lifts, and then as we breathe out, fold forwards. And if your head does come down onto your leg, then focus on pulling your head on the out breath closer down towards the foot. And then wherever you've got to, you're just going to rest here. So you can rest your head, whether it's on your leg or it's just relaxed, neck and head relaxed. Rest here for a few breaths. We're going to come up, stretch out that leg. Bring the opposite foot to the ground next to your leg and let that side drop out. The foot should be above the knee and just touching your inner thigh. You might want to put your blanket or something there if your knee doesn't drop to the floor, but if you don't have something, that's okay. Those hips, you just need to bring them forward. Sit up tall. And then we're going to breathe in. And as we breathe out, fold forward, our upper body is coming over the straight leg. Breathe in. Look up. Breathe out, fold and reach forwards. Okay, just keep going in your own time. And this time, either you reach on your foot or your leg, just keep your hands there. And as we breathe in, we're going to imagine our crown of our head lifting, our spine lengthening. And as we breathe out, fold forwards, see if we can go any deeper. You might find that you can reach your hands further down your leg or further around your foot. And wherever you come to this time, just relax that neck, the head, focus on our body being directly over this leg, straight leg. And with our head and neck relaxed, just take a few breaths here. And just come to sitting however's comfortable for you. I want to do a breathing exercise with you, and then I'm just going to sit on these blocks. It's more comfortable for me. We'll do a breathing exercise and then a couple of relaxing poses. So we'll start with the 3-part breath. So it's supposed to be a relaxing breath and bring us back to how babies breathe, really full, deep breaths. Okay, so the 3 parts that we're thinking of are the parts of our lungs that fill up and the parts of our body that expand and contract when we breathe deeply. We've got 1, the belly, 2, the ribs, 3, the chest. We're going to breathe slowly. As we breathe in deeply, focus on the breath filling that belly. The ribs expand as the breath fills the lungs. And the chest rises as the lungs fill. And as you breathe out, squeeze that belly button in, push out the air, bring those ribs back in, lower the chest, and the air comes out. You're aiming for a full deep breath. If you feel like you breathe out more or breathe in more when I get to the end, you can try and go a little bit faster, or you can just go in your own time, not with me. So, breathing in, belly, ribs opening, chest rising. Breathing out, belly squeezing in, Ribs closing, chest lowering. Breathing in belly, ribs, chest. Breathing out, belly squeezes in, ribs, chest. Breathing in, belly, ribs, chest. Breathing out, belly, ribs, chest. Breathing in, belly, ribs, chest. Breathing out, belly, ribs, chest. Breathing in, belly, ribs, chest. Breathing out, belly, ribs, chest. Breathing in, belly, ribs, chest. Breathing out, belly, ribs, chest. So in your own time, we're going to come down to the floor. And we're just going to roll around a little bit on our backs, so lying on our backs. You can stay like this if you don't feel like rolling around. It can be relaxing to bring your feet wide, so as wide as the mat or wider, so that your knees drop in together. The knees might touch or they might not, but say for me like this, with my feet wide, I feel like I could stay here for quite a while and it's relaxed. But if you want to just roll a little bit, bring your feet up to the ceiling. And we're going to do Happy Baby, which is where we imagine our knees are going to come down here just outside our armpits or as close as possible. And then we're aiming to grab the feet, so you can either grab the feet on the outside or on the inside. And if you can't reach the feet, you can just grab the leg. That's fine. And then we can just roll around. I really like it, giving myself a back massage. But if you want to stay still like this and focus on pulling those feet down to the ground so that the knees come closer to the ground, you can do. If you feel like rolling, you can, rocking, or if you feel like just moving in a random way like a baby, you can. So whatever you feel like, just for a couple of minutes. And then when you're ready, you can release. Put your feet on the ground. You can see what time is okay. So our feet are flat on the ground. If you've got any lower back niggles, you can stay in that same position I said before with your feet wide, knees dropping together. Otherwise, we're going to take the legs out straight for Shavasana. Corpse pose, really relax our body, all our muscles. Just stretch out the legs down the mat. And then let your legs and your feet roll out to the side so they're fully relaxed. Well, one of mine's next to a wall, but can still relax. So fully relaxed. And if you need, sometimes I feel a little, not like a painful ache, but like a pulling in my back. Then if you feel anything uncomfortable, then move a little bit, wriggle us a bit so it's comfortable for you. Imagine our shoulder blades are still rolling down our back, even though we're on the ground. And then we're going to bring our hands to our sides. Okay, just a little way away from our sides, palms facing up. You can also put the hands on the belly if you feel like you need to gather your energy and nurture yourself a little bit. So it's up to you, hands on the belly or by the sides. And we're going to be here for a couple of minutes, relaxing, absorbing the yoga that we've just been doing. And you can breathe normally. Focus on being here in this present moment with your body and your breath. And if thoughts come, which is normal, just imagine they're like a cloud. So you see them, you notice it, and then it just passes by. And then gently wiggle your fingers, your toes, and your feet to the mat. So your knees are pointing upwards. Just roll onto one side and you can relax there for a moment or a few moments until you're ready to come up to sitting. Thank you for practicing with me. Let me turn off the recording. Just come around in your own time.